Hi, there have been some questions getting started on the first drawing in Chapter 2. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to place those circles on that number 1 adjustment support. And I think what's tripping people up is you have to actually use polar coordinates in addition to rectangular coordinates. So let me share with you my screen. And what I've done is I've placed the bottom 2 circles. So this is the hole at the lower left-hand corner of that drawing. And now what I want to do is I want to build the slot for the right-hand end. And I'm going to start by building a circle, actually a set of nested circles that are placed according to the dimensions we're given on this drawing. Now, on this drawing, if you look, there's a horizontal line that's a construction line that intersects with a construction arc. And the drawing tells us that that's got radius 3.0. So what that means is that the circles that form the lower end of that slot are centered on an arc that is 3 units from the center of my starting zeros. Now, I put my start at the origin, and I encourage you to do the same thing. It makes life a little simpler. I'm going to start with the center radius circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell AutoCAD that I want the center of this circle to be at coordinates 3, 0. And I want it to be radius 1. Okay? Now that's the outer circle. I've got another smaller nested circle that's concentric with that. So I'm going to go ahead and make this circle concentric with my outer circle and have it be radius 0.5. That's the lower one. Now let's do the upper one. And to do the upper one, again, I chose the center radius circle. And I'm going to tell AutoCAD that I want its center to be at coordinates 3, but at an angle of 40 degrees. And then have radius 1. Now I got that 40 degrees from the drawing that is shown, or sorry, from the dimension on our drawing at the right-hand side. You can see there's another construction line that comes from the origin. And then at the right-hand side, we've got an arc of 40 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead now and make another circle that is concentric, has the same center point as the one I just put on there, and has a radius of 0.5. And you'll notice what I'm doing. You might not notice, but I'm going to tell you. What I'm doing is I'm actually typing in the radius that I want on my keyboard. I'm not trying to make my mouse go out to 0.5. That's not precise enough. Okay, so that's the beginnings of our slot. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and finish this out because we're going to use some tricks here. You're still going to have to do it. So let's get that arc on the bottom. And the way I'm going to get that is actually I'm going to use a tangent radius circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell AutoCAD that I want my circle to be tangent to this radius or diameter 2 circle, and I want it to be tangent to that circle. But now my drawing tells me this thing's got a radius of 3. So when I type that in, I get a radius 3 circle that is tangent to those 2 circles. Let's do the same thing for the upper curve. So again, I'm going to use the tangent radius circle. And this time I want my circle to be tangent to that lower left-hand outer circle and the upper right-hand outer circle, and have radius 5. Whoops, let's try that again. tangent to this one, tangent to this one, and have radius 5. So you'll notice that AutoCAD puts the center on whichever side of the circle my mouse is hovering on. So when I did it before, my mouse was up here, and so AutoCAD made my circle go above. When my mouse is down here, AutoCAD made my center point be below where I was currently drawing, which gave me the shape that I wanted. Okay, we're going to do some trimming at this point to clean stuff up a little bit. We're getting close. But just about everything is going to, so am I going to use, when I use trim, remember that I select my cutting edges first. So I'm going to cut with this circle, and with this circle, and with this circle. And now I right click and tell AutoCAD what I want to trim. What I want to trim is the bulk of this big circle and the bulk of this little circle. Okay, and now I hit enter on my keyboard to be done. We're getting there. We are actually almost there, so now we just need to create a couple more circles to give me the edges that I need. There are a couple ways to go about doing what I'm about to do. I'm going to show you one way. There are others. What I'm going to do is the same thing I did before, but I'm going to do a little math in my head to get here. So let's talk about this. That outer curve is formed by a circle that is tangent to this circle and tangent to this circle and has radius 5. So I'm just going to click on the center point here because that curve is concentric. Whoops, that's not going to do it. Okay. So how am I getting to that radius 5? So we got a center point here and a center point here. What I'm doing is I'm taking that curve of 3 that they give me. So my construction curve in my drawing is, it's got a radius of 3. And then my circle has got a radius of 1. So the radius of my curve is going to be 4. Okay, work that out for yourself. I'm going to do a couple more like that. I'm going to do a couple more tangent radius circles. I'm going to make a circle that is tangent to here and has radius 3.5. And another one that is tangent here and has radius 2.5. Now we're going to do some more trimming, and we're almost done. I'm going to trim with this circle and this circle and this circle and this circle, and actually these other circles are also going to be cutting edges. And now I'm going to right click and tell AutoCAD I want to trim that part and that part and that part. And I want to trim this and this and this one and this one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim the circles in this slot. So we're going to trim here and here and this. This is kind of the hard way to do this. So let's trim again. Let's go back to my trim. And for my cutting edges, I want to use this guy, and this guy. Right click, and we're going to trim this circle here and that circle there. And we're done. Okay. I hope that helped. Remember that circles are your friends. And remember that we use both Cartesian and polar coordinates. Get a hold of me if you have any other questions or if this doesn't make any sense, and we'll set up a virtual meeting so that we can talk face to face and I can answer your questions. All right. I'll talk to you again soon.